It's gonna fuck it up. No, moved it. We're back. We almost got in a lot of trouble last time when I was opening this. I think I went too slow. Yeah.
Can we open it?
Yeah.
Sure.
No
Yeah,
woman,
you almost fucking killed yourself.
yeah. No woman, no kids. You wouldn't get that reference. It's a Leon the Professional reference. But that was his rule. No women, no kids.
Okay. No, dude, it almost hit you right in the throat. That would have been bad, dude.
Yeah, it just kind of hit me here and just bounced off just the
rock hard
pectorius mages.
Yeah.
My mind. So
Nice.
it would have got my mind and I would have been fucked.
Yeah.
Would have got my mage.
The major, yeah. Yeah, I was worried about it. We just had this moment of just like this. Oh shit.
And it probably passed all too quickly.
Yeah.
Far too quickly that shit off.
You sometimes
Ooh, sexy. Well,
You sometimes
sexy. You want like a bit of a flap.
Yeah, you want like a
but we also, we want our eyesight too.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, a guy from like Love Island or some shit that he lost his eye like that.
Yeah.
He was like opening a bottle of champagne or some shit and then like it just hit him in the eye.
That's an expensive bottle.
He lost his eye, yeah.
That's an expensive drink. Like, oh.
Do you reckon like GH Mum or like fucking who's the other really expensive champagne brand?
All right, that's why I'm not with you.
Okay, yeah. Do you reckon they got a sponsor him now? They just feel bad. They're like, sorry about that.
Yeah, he claims like it was the carbonation.
Yeah.
He claims some sort of like they're liable.
Yeah,
I don't know champagne talk.
I don't know champagne either. All I know is that there's always those assholes that are like, it's not champagne unless it comes from Champagne in France, and you're like,
Champagne.
yeah, you're like, you serious?
It's pronounced champagne.
A lot of head on the
Oh, I love it. I love that head. You know what I mean?
But yeah, losing your life in like a champagne accident has got to be pretty tough.
It's got to be pretty depressing.
Yeah,
There are cooler ways to go out.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Let's put you over here so you know on the eye of the time.
Cheers.
Cheers. We had a bit of a debacle at the supermarket.
Oh my god.
There's this guy who was sort of fiddling around with two bags, a rucksack. Backsack. Love a bit of backsack.
You're telling me. What's a little backsack?
Yeah.
Fucking hard.
You know when they tickle the taint?
Yeah.
How good is that?
I mean,
is it just because it's untouched? Is it kind of like it's the lower thigh of the scrotum area?
Yeah.
It's the lower thigh of the genital region.
Right.
The scrotum.
And no one ever touched lower thighs again. They're like, hey, am I looking at taint?
Yeah, I heard it was the lower thigh of the genital region. But I stand by it. You can quote me.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch that being quoted when you're winning like an Emmy or something.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey.
Does anyone remember when Josh said?
And we're like, fuck.
The taint is the thigh of the genital region. Can you not? You're gonna get.
This is another reason. Everyone always talks about social equality. Fuck that. People who do that shit should be taken out in the streets and fucking shot.
I reckon.
In front of their mothers.
Just go back to where you came from.
Yeah. Manukau.
Yeah. With gas the price that it is at the moment. How can you afford to be gallivanting?
Holy shit. And here's the other thing too. I saw one of those fucking loser mobiles.
Yeah.
Coming down the street. They've got like actual, like not even just speakers, but like actual like little like PA system, like the little, like in school.
Yeah.
With like that little PA thing. They've got those strapped to the front of the cars. The point is to blare it out.
The point is to not hear it. Is to be heard. Like being from New Plymouth and also England, this was never a thing. It was very new. It was, and like I haven't lived in Auckland, so it wasn't even a thing in New Plymouth. When I moved, it wasn't even really a thing in South Auckland because I lived in South Auckland for the longest time. I didn't really hear it much. They only do it here.
Yeah.
These people.
Yeah, it's like, let's go to someone else's neighborhood to be a fucking problem.
Yeah. Like when I was living out west, I wasn't really living out west. It was kind of more central west. Blockhouse Bay Road.
Right.
Avondale.
Right.
It's very close to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I first experienced it properly. Because I lived on this long road where there's like this straight where people would boost up. And just every now and again, like I would just hear this like awful, god awful fucking music blaring out of a car. And I'm like, at first I didn't know what the fuck was going on, dude. I'm like, is it that loud in their car?
Yeah, right. That's what everyone kind of thinks the first time. It's like, holy shit, someone's playing some shit that's like
that's
really
very loud. I can hear that clearly. Well, not clearly, but like the decibel level is it's like someone's like blaring the music in the next room over.
And you're like, what the fuck?
I'm confused.
Yeah, and then you see them with like the speakers like on the outside of the car, and you're like, it's just like a big neon sign that says, hey, you don't have to put any effort into me at all. Like, can you imagine dating someone? Imagine being a woman and dating someone and like a guy, because I never see women do it.
Yeah. Women have they got problems, man. But they just have bad dads,
But you never see a girl do that.
No,
so some retard guy, and you're like, can you imagine finding out that this guy you're seeing does that?
Well, they've got their own foghorn. What are their foghorns? What are their blowing speakers on the outside of the car?
What is their called? I don't know. I don't hang around in an area with that lower decile, man. Listen, man, I grew up low decile. I'm never doing it again. I don't give a shit. And so because I was having a discussion.
I was from the streets.
I'm from the main streets. But dude, no, I swear to God, like I was having this discussion like a little while ago with like a couple of my flatmates, and they're like, oh, this place is not. And they named like South Auckland areas. Like, oh, Manukau's not that bad. I'm like, it's a fucking shithole.
Yeah, it's virtual signaling, man.
Like,
it's like I'm a good person, I'm open-minded, and you know what? I don't see color.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Maybe there's a couple of pockets that aren't that bad.
I tell you what, the botanical gardens, they're nice.
Botanical gardens are good, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to wear hard shoes, closed-toed, so you don't get like a heroin needle.
Yeah, you can't walk barefoot through those fields.
God,
those fields are green.
God forbid. The winter gardens are fucking lovely.
Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Yeah. I think one of the coolest moments of my life, of my being, was walking through the cherry blossoms in the Manukau Botanical Gardens. And honestly, man, I felt like I was in a movie. Yeah. Time slowed down. Dude, I genuinely felt high.
Yeah.
I felt fucking high.
Yeah.
But it was just nature. I was just connecting. I was one with nature. I think I understand what that means now, being one with nature. But just for a very short period of time.
I mean,
I was with a girl as well, Jackie Nahu.
Okay.
She was cute. She was trying to fuck me, but I wasn't really into it.
Fair enough. That's just docs on the pod. Poor girl. We're just saying her full name out here.
I think I did. Yeah. I think I did say her full name.
It's all good. We can beep it up. But
I love the idea of the red herring, the false cry. What am I trying to say?
Right.
Of like, we're not going to be doing any of that. Just any sort of promise of any editing.
Yeah, it just typically goes out the window. Yeah. Well, we haven't said anything that bad yet. Well, we haven't like watched back and just gone, oh fuck. Okay, no, we need to like absolutely delete this.
There's a few times I'm rewatching the podcast. I'm like, Jesus, we're drunk. These are the drunk slurrings of angry old men.
At 25 too.
Yeah, 25. Old souls.
Old souls.
Old the term old soul swings both ways.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it's a fucking weird thing to be too. Because there's an awareness that comes with it, and you're like,
yeah. I was talking to a buddy about that. Is like because we were talking about sort of self-awareness and being present and shit, and like sort of just like knowing why you act the way you act and why you say the things you say and the feelings you have, and sort of being aware of that. And I was like, yeah, but it's a double-edged sword, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Who the fuck wants to be aware?
Constantly second-guessing yourself.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's wild. It's wild. You know, imagine being so fucking stupid that you think that like nailing speakers to the front of your car and blasting the worst fucking reggae. What even is that?
Right.
They don't play what's on the charts.
It's very reggae-esque, dude. But it's like reggae. It's tongue in the Samian music. Like it's so reggae-esque.
It's like it's like you step down to like the resort and
it's a fucking rip-off of reggae, bro.
So weird. And you never hear it anywhere else. Like if you tried to find it on Spotify, you fucking couldn't.
No.
The fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't like it.
It's fucking terrible music.
It's strange, man. Like that, you know, they're all the same. They all put like
it's all the same songs. Yeah, it's all the same fucking thing.
And even saw the way that like the Tongans and the Samoans hold themselves. Like when they're together. It's very group mentality, very tribe mentality. Like they've got and like sort of the way they present themselves, they've got like the Tongan flag, the Samoan flag.
Have you seen when they like? Yeah, I know what you mean. Have you seen when like Samoa plays rugby here, and then they lose? Have you seen how like the streets here get like filled with people like just lamenting?
They've got this weird hate for each other, the Samoans and the Tongans.
Oh fuck yeah!
I've lived with Samoans, and on two different occasions.
Yeah.
And well, you know, you grew up here. You grew up in Auckland.
I went to a boarding school which shall not be named. A lot of island kids.
It gets named a lot in the papers.
But
we won't name it here.
They hated each other for no fucking reasons because one guy was from Fiji, one guy was from Tonga, one guy was from Samoa.
Yeah.
Had this weird beef. Looking back on it, it's like, what's fault? Who gives a shit? We're all getting molested. Like,
it's kind of weird how you hate yourself, you know?
We have a common enemy. Like, yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's like how the English hate the English. It's like, we're all the same.
Yeah. The fuck? Oh, fuck you. You're from Manchester.
I live 2 kilometers from you. 2 miles.
Yeah.
God, you gotta fucking be unique, don't you?
Yeah.
Use a different system than everyone else.
It's weird. Weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, the supermarket. We saw some guy walking out of the. I saw this like this Peasley. Let's talk about this fucking security guy for starters. Or do we talk about him now? Anyway, here's a guy who shouldn't be a fucking security guard. Here's a guy that shouldn't. He's the most submissive looking loser.
He looks like the Mountain's Downey younger brother.
Yeah,
because he is tall, but he's also fucking like just.
He's got just that weak facial hair, you know. Like
very scraggly.
The type of weak facial hair I had. If I tried to grow it out for like 4 months, that sort of facial hair, dude.
Right.
It's weak. It's like, what are you doing? Just shave it off. But he probably keeps it on because he looks even younger than he does. The guy's probably 30. He looks 20.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, good to a point. But yeah, so anyway, this security guy sort of comes like charging by us and like, oh, what's going on here? He looks like he's a man with a man on a mission.
He did look like he was a man on a mission, yeah.
And so I like called Jimmy back. I'm like, oh, like something going on here. And then had a look back, and there's like he was homeless. He was walking out of the storage room with a backpack on, the backsack, and just a carry bag. And he says like a few words to him, but like he just gets steam trained. And just sort of walks by him. So much to the point where one of the cashiers has to confront him.
Little Indian girl, like 4 foot tall.
Yeah, about 4 foot nothing.
Look your fucking back.
Yeah, and she, you know, that's what she's forced to do every time that fucking guy works. She doesn't feel safe with the security guard here.
Honestly, and you told me too that there was an influencer that got like literally attacked.
And it was him on the door, dude.
Hit by a pole, and that guy was just like.
Hey. You see him in the video.
Yeah. Fucking wild, security guard, and you're like, what the fuck?
You're not doing anything.
It's fucking stupid. But like, guy is a generous term for the guy that the thing that tried to walk through the doors into the storage area. Like this,
just a classic rat-looking sort of guy.
Like you know, like the Underminer from The Incredibles, like right at the end of The Incredibles, the greasy guy that crawls out of the ground.
He does look like him.
He looks like that. And I was just like, what the fuck?
So that guy always asks you for money, fucking at the tuck shop when you were younger.
Yeah.
Every time, yeah. And like even when you're not even like near the tuck shop. He's like, oh, by the way, like you just see him in class and he's like, oh, by the way, do you have 20 cents, dude?
Yeah.
And you're like, have some fucking self-respect.
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. It's fucking stupid. No, but like, dude, I swear to God, actually, why did that keep possible?
Yeah, actually. Look at that. Hive mind here. Is that like mind?
Like mind?
Hive
mind? Sure.
I think for hive mind, you need like more than 2 people.
Yeah, and you're going to be doing like the same thing.
Right.
That's what it is.
We can be different and independent if we are the same.
Yeah, that's.
Did you play GTA 5?
No.
There's some great radio yarns on there. Like that, on the radio. You turn the radio on. Some really funny stuff on there.
I love GTA so much.
They've got this great bit where like this feminist comes on and she just like says all this classic sort of. It's also satirical as well.
Yeah.
Like they're making fun of our feminists.
Right.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
And then one of the quotes was like, "We must all act and look the same way so we can be different," or something like that. I'm fucking that up, but yeah, you get the idea.
GTA doesn't give a shit, man. They just go for it, and I really like that because like now more than ever, I think we need people who are gonna just say whatever they want. But
there's this guy that they get on, and mock called Laszlo, and he's a real guy, and he's the guy that's sort of like hated in radio and radio.
Oh yeah.
In like that sort of time, 2008, 2009. That's when I was listening to the radio. But 10 years later on. But that was the period that I was listening to on the O&A show.
Yeah.
And there's this guy called Laszlo on there. And he's fucking retard. Thinks he's cool, thinks he's like the man or whatever.
Right.
And they just fucking they did like a whole bit where he came on and like spoke about life and whatever on GTA.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
I'll link you.
Yeah, dude, king.
It's fucking funny, dude.
Isn't it funny how like the people who look like they're gonna steal something and are in the process of stealing something are always like, how come I'm not getting fair treatment? It's like, you tried to walk into the storeroom.
You were in the storeroom
with a fucking shopping bag.
Yeah.
Like, and he's all like, oh, I don't have anything in my bag. It's just like, no, not yet. But we're gonna. So I don't know. I just like, I think in the eyes of God, mate, we're probably all we're all created equal, of equal value to him. But we're definitely not created equivalent.
Yeah, that's exactly bang on. Like you make, like, how many dumbasses do you know who fucking just kill it? Just kill shit. Like, they're great.
Yeah.
I was talking to you about my person I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I really like it. There's a person I know, not the brightest, not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No, they never are.
But fuck is he just? Yeah, he's great. He's great, and you wouldn't really be able to tell as well that he wasn't. You just have to like hang over for a certain amount of time and be like, oh, okay, cool. You don't really know, like, you don't know much about like too many things.
Yeah, and you're like, oh no, you're fucking retarded. Like,
somewhat.
This is but like in a loving way.
Yeah, in a loving way.
Yeah.
You're like, about a few things. But he knows very well about a few things. And he's a great business mind, and he's a very rich man.
Yeah,
and he's pretty happy too. Just retired.
That's good. That's good.
At a young, earlier than he should.
And yeah, that's good. The only people that are going to get to retire are the people that just make a lot of money. That's it. That's all they're going to do, is just going to make a shit ton of money, and they're just going to fucking.
I kind of feel like that's what KiwiSaver was.
Yeah.
It's like, this is your pension. Yeah. So you leave. You can leave when you want. Anyway, I went out the other night and kind of learned. Well, anyway, this hermaphrodite was there.
All right.
And there's something about the gays and the people, the LGBTQ.
There's a lot. I don't even know what we're up to now.
Anyway, that community.
Yeah.
They love a bit of Josh.
They love a bit of Josh.
They love a slice of Josh.
They really do, actually. Yeah.
It happens all the time, and no exception. Go out. There's a fellow there who's not a fellow.
Okay.
Identifies as, I can't remember.
Right.
Brianna or something, and I don't think that was it. But yeah, they stick to me like glue, man, and like he's a dude, like, sort of, I think. But he sort of identifies as a lady. But I kind of got a bit of an insight into like what it is to be like a woman.
Okay.
On a night out.
Right.
Like, I'm just being kind. I'm just being friendly. I'm just like having a yarn. Like, we're just we're talking about whatever. But of course, he takes that as, I want to fuck him.
Right. Yeah, and then imagine ratcheting that up to like almost every every like person you meet, and you're like, oh, that's gotta suck,
right?
You know,
every time you're on a night out, like a guy just sort of takes that as like, as a woman.
Hey, she said hi.
Yeah,
she definitely wants to fuck me. It's like, no, she was just trying to go to the bathroom, just trying to get past you. Someone says, excuse me, and she's like, oh, yo, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have some kids.
Oh, excuse me.
It's like, I don't think so. You know,
I'm in a persistent, man.
It's weird.
And yeah, it annoyed me. I can follow us all the way home.
Followed you home?
All the way home.
Wow. Well, that's not good.
No. Felt bad when I woke up next to him,
but did you?
And boy did he. No, he felt great.
Okay.
But no.
That's
but yeah.
Hey, listen, you know, sometimes you just gotta. Yeah, that's what it is. Sometimes it's just
had a bit of a dry spell of 1 week. Actually less than a week. Your boy's killing it. Wow.
He's killing it.
But anywho, that's all I've got to say about that.
The next time you just gotta double down. You know?
And just say no.
Well, identify as a man who identifies as a woman, who identifies as a man. You know?
Yeah, that's like a Russian, one of those Russian dolls.
Yeah.
Genders.
Yeah. Who identifies as the person who sold my cousin his dog, whose partner was a dog.
Twice removed.
Who identifies as a man.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Gender wise.
Yeah. You're just going through this flurry of emotions every single time. Yeah. Every single time something happens, you're just like, wait, what would you go through like this chain of 50 people?
That's not mental illness.
No.
I wonder if there's
beautiful.
I wonder if like gender fluidity is associated with schizophrenia or mental illness.
Well, gender dysphoria was in the DSM-5.
For the dumber listeners at home and myself, what does that mean? What do you mean there? DSM-5?
The DSM-5 is basically like a.
Sounds like a cool fucking like it sounds like a super chart.
Yeah. It's basically like a huge book with like all the different known like mental.
Here comes depression.
Yeah.
And I'm anxiety.
Yeah, it's like Captain Planet, like they all come together, and there's just like one of us standing there.
There's
like,
a merge, and just like some fucking
loser, like just some guy, some hipster, you know, just with a fucking mustache.
What do you mean, man?
Yeah. No, DSM-5 is like a huge textbook of like all the known like mental and physiological disorders.
Gotcha.
Like depression's in there, anxiety, like all the subcategories of that. You know,
all of the known, all of the
like
assumed.
Yeah, pretty much. Like just everything that they've discovered or figured out are disorders.
I think that's how it would be like described now, though, wouldn't it? Like known, it would be more assumed.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because that's the other thing too. Like with people that do have like real disorders, like they will use that and try to like figure out like, oh, okay. Because there's a lot of crossover. I did psychology for a year.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I wanted to be a psychologist originally.
Same. I wanted to be a fucking detective dude.
Nice. You used to do that.
I can still do that. Yeah. It'd be a good little hobby later on. If this doesn't work out, you know. But it's going so well.
Josh Jones, yeah. All the millions of dollars they're making.
Yeah, it was a bit too sciencey for me. I'm too much of a dumbass. Because we're at that level, which you would have been as well. Where it was all about the eye, and the connections of the eyes to the brain and the optic nerve, and like how everything's fired when you sort of looked at it. Did a different course?
Yeah.
Psychology 101 then.
Didn't do that.
Didn't do that?
I might have just forgotten.
It was very sciencey, dude.
There's two pathways you can take. You can take them. You can do it as like a medicine, like as like a science degree.
Two known.
Yeah.
Two known pathways.
Yeah. There's two known pathways. Actually, there's three. One, you can go through like a science degree. Well, I think it's like either a science or a medical degree, and you do it that way. And that's very like anatomy based, like physiology, everything else. And there's also like an art degree. Basically, like, I'm not even kidding. You can get like an art degree, majoring in psychology, and then like from there you can move and you can like major in other shit like that.
I don't think that was an option down our target.
Probably not.
Not too many courses.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, medicine or agriculture. Take your pick.
Exactly. Yeah. You're going to be in the farms, or you're going to be, an orthodontist.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah.
Although they make great money.
They do make really.
But the most depressed. We've already talked about this.
Yeah, the orthodontist being the most depressed.
Yeah.
So it's a tough job, man.
Imagine being an orthodontist in Britain.
Ooh. Oh, fuck, you'd make a killing.
You would, actually, yeah, you would.
I mean, the amount of money you'd make, you wouldn't even be depressed.
That's a real fucking test of money buys happiness right there. Yeah. That is the ultimate test.
Right, I hold your fucking head still, yeah. You're just nailing someone into some headgear.
That would be the greatest fear factor challenge.
Yeah. Well,
10 years of your life, orthodontist.
Yeah.
Can you make it through?
Yeah. The third pathway is just they're just finding some bitch in a fucking commune that teaches Reiki healing. And then you get your psychology degree from her.
You just you stay in a homeless shelter for 5 years.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
You come out levitating.
Fuck, that'll teach you some psychology. God damn. Yeah. Yeah, it's just just float up. So there's a couple of pathways, but I was doing the art. Bachelor of Arts.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
And that's kind of where I started, but then I kind of woke up one day, and then I switched to law. And then I woke up one day and I was
we're fucking weird twin stars, my dude. I did exactly that.
Really?
Psychology. Well, this is working out. Law.
And then I woke up one day and I was like, I'm living in the Waikato. This is not good.
Oh, did you do this down in...
I did this down in the Waikato, yeah.
Oh, shit. You went to Massey?
No, I went to Waikato Uni.
Oh, okay.
University of Waikato. And I was just like, this is not the move.
A universally renowned...
yeah,
and recognized degree of that. You just put like a little French spin on it, Waikato. That's better.
And
I don't know what mine was, but
it
wasn't French.
And I've been secretly trying to develop his accent because his accent's great. So I've been secretly trying to develop it. So
I thought Marcel was French.
No, she's not. No. Well, she's French name, yeah, but like Kiwi. But
that's actually appropriate. I want to speak to our parents.
Yeah, no, but one of my other flatmates, he's French and he's got this wicked accent. And so I'm just like, that'd be really funny to be able to just do that accent. On stage, do characters or whatever. But
do you think people are going to get in trouble at some point for their names?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But look, this is the end, man. By the time we get to that point, society will have collapsed already. This is the end.
Will it progress to that level, or will it double back down? And these people will disappear like the conspiracy theorists that they are.
Or like people that said YOLO.
That's almost a good comparison. Like these guys are the conspiracy theorists of sort of like the ethical world.
Right. Oh yeah, like the body politic.
Well, maybe Marx. They're sort of Marxists of the ethical world.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not speaking loud enough there.
It's stupid, like just how they do a lot of stuff. It's just so dumb. But yeah, no. So that was it, man. So I came back. Oh yeah. No, so DSM-5, but there's a lot of overlap between a lot of shit.
You just did the 1 year? You just did the 2 years, and then you're like,
yeah, I did 1 year. I kind of switched halfway through.
Oh, you switched halfway through.
Yeah, but the whole thing was kind of done. Like, yeah, it was just weird. But yeah, no, the DSM-5, there's a lot of overlap.
Cool.
So they'll be like, is it this? Because it might be that. So they just nail it down to like a little spectrum, and then they're like, well, let's just keep testing until we figure out what the fuck.
It's just Venn diagrams, dude. Do you remember those those tests that you did? And it's like there's a question, and it goes like 4 ways and like how you answered.
Yeah,
it's this little tree.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're you've got MS. You've got bipolar. MS wouldn't work. That's multiple sclerosis. It's more of a muscular disorder. But you
got multiple sclerosis. Like, how do you know? It's like, well, we watched you answering those questions in the chair. You're looking like a fucking barbecued shrimp.
You're DCM5.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do update. There probably is a DCM6 now.
Oh, they update.
Yeah. No, they do. Yeah. Good old John Money was on like number 2 or 3. Yeah.
John Money.
What a man. What a wild character from history. But listen, the longer I live, the more I'm convinced that I'm like an alien that got sent down to live among the morons. The level of just fucking idiocy that I see every day, from the way this country's run, politics.
I'm the opposite. I feel
everything.
I feel very average.
Yeah.
I feel very average.
I mean, you should not. You should get a little bit of narcissism, just a little bit, just a touch. enough to make things interesting.
Just like some of the opinions I'm having, I'm like, all right, that's very blue collar.
You know, yeah. I mean, like, it's just so fucking weird, bro. I'm convinced that this is the end of an empire. I think it's all collapsing. You know, but we got people out there living in like the most suburbanite kids being like, I'm a Marxist. What? Because shit gets so easy, I think, in societies that like people just want to feel some kind of resistance. And so they start to tear down what's around them to kind of feel that.
I agree with that.
Like they're fighting something.
I had this bit I was trying to work on. It was like, even with like the world that's sort of like burning down around us at the moment with COVID, we've still got an issue. Yeah. Because sometimes it feels like maybe it's maybe it's that COVID isn't like it's too sort of it's too non-inclusive,
right,
of a loss of human loss, or like a human tragedy, right? Because it's what it is. It's like it's a massive human tragedy. Like so many people have died, but it's too non-inclusive. Like it's not, your neighbor hasn't died yet. Yeah, right. Yeah. So we still need to sort of. So I feel like we need a war. Yeah. To bring us all back together again. Yeah, that's what'll fix us, is a war. You know, you want to see that blood and gore on the TV. There's no blood and gore with COVID. Yeah. It's just like, grandma got ill and fell out on the stairs, and that was it. It's closed casket. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot. It's fucking weird too, because it's like, yeah, we're in the middle of a fucking wild disease, a pandemic the likes of which we've never really seen, and we're still complaining, dude. No one has lost their minds like the Trans-Tasman. Trans-Tasman. Do you see that video of that woman in Australia? Oh, well, she's getting videoed, and they're like, "Oh, where are you going? Where's your mask down?" They're a bit late to the party. Yeah, and it's like, I'm getting coffee. What the fuck? She's like, "What's in your cup? Let me see your cup. Let me see if there's coffee in your cup. Make sure you're not lying about why you have your mask down." And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? They're a bit late to the party with the whole COVID thing, but you know what? They showed up. They showed up. They're like that fucking drunk guy that's like already half cut. I said, maybe. Comes in like no shit, spinning shit above his head. Thinks he's Channing Tatum. Looks like the fucking Blob. Yeah. He's got that beer guy. Yeah, looking like the Pillsbury fucking doughboy, and you're like, hey, stop it. Get some help. Get some help. Yeah, Michael Jordan. Yeah, bro. Stop it. Get some help. But dude, I think this is it, man. I think this is it. I think this is it. I think we're all going down, man. I think the ship's sinking. I think it's the same thing where people don't like that. Where people are like, the music's never gonna be as good as it is now. Like, I think it's the same thing. I think they probably experienced something similar in there. I think it is very inclusive though. Yeah. In a sense that the whole world is like dealing with the same shit. And there's definitely a certain lack of compassion with that. Yeah. I think people were probably more compassionate about 50 years ago. Dude, I mean, yeah. Well, yes, and it depends on who you were. But it's just weird, yeah, because it's like, it's so weird to me how we've moralized getting a disease. Because remember when COVID started, and they're like, oh my God, there's poor people with COVID. And now, like, if someone gets COVID, it's like, oh, well, where you been? What have you been doing? Well, you wouldn't have got COVID if you weren't, doing this. And it's just like, wait, what? And there's also the whole thing with like if you're vaccinated versus if you're not vaccinated. And now we're also at the point where it's like, well, if you're unvaccinated, that's your choice. And everyone's supposed to just kind of be okay with that. Yeah. Like we're like, it's a choice. We're pro-choice now when it comes to vaccines. Yeah. And then until they're not. Which is so fucking weird, because it's just like, and you kill grandma. Yeah, you kill grandma, but she deserved it. Yeah, grandma was a bitch. She deserved it. Yeah. But it's like, what someone would do for a chocolate bar in 1943? Fucking love that bit. But yeah, no, dude, it's just so fucking weird to me. Like, yeah, we have a vaccine, and people are like, I'm not sure about this, and they go, you're part of the problem. Fucking, it's just like, hey, they whipped it up in like 9 months. These things usually take years. There's people having heart attacks at like 22 because they got the vaccine. And it's like, very low percentage. Very low percentage. But it's also like, hey, that doesn't really happen. Like, and then it's like, hey, we got to get a booster shot now. And Israel's on their 4th. And it's just like, hey, I've never had to have a booster for whooping cough. It's collateral damage, or right? Cholera, or tuberculosis. Like any of the vaccines you get as a kid, you don't have to get a booster for anything. I mean, you can,
but you don't have to. So it's just so weird to me. So I'm just thinking like, hey, what I'm hoping for is that this will lead to a big civil war in New Zealand, and hopefully house prices come down.
New Zealand isn't going to get into a civil war. They're far too
much of a pussy.
They're far too quaint.
Yeah.
Is quaint the right word? I see a little fucking bug here, man. I think it might be a fly.
Frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't in my cup.
Oh,
yeah, there it is.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
You get in there.
I'm hoping though that like, have you noticed that like the cost of living's gone up like hugely here?
Well, inflation wasn't something I understood as a child until I started to experience it as an older child, and now I know. Now I understand what it is.
Yeah,
and I'm not a fan.
No, not a fan. And you're like, wait, cheese is like $18.
It can be, dude.
What?
It can be, yeah.
What the fuck?
You have to buy. You always buy the cheese that's on fucking on sale. And it's always $10.99. It's that Meadow Lee, that Meadow Fresh.
Do you remember your parents complaining, be like, cheese is $8?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
Not on sale.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, cheese is $8. What the fuck? And now you're an adult standing there at a mall trying to fucking like decide between cheese or your health insurance.
Right.
You know? And you're like, hey, what the fuck? This ain't cool. But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We're gonna survive. Everything is just okay.
Everything is just okay.
You know. Yeah. Going good. I don't know.
I think it's Inside Out. That
is it?
I think so.
Oh, no.
No, I was wrong.
No, we're good.
Usually I'm wrong.
Yeah, isn't that a bitch? Like just the fact that we as human beings, almost everything we do as a species is just wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fun. And you know why it's fun? Bro, we're electric meat. Piloting an even bigger meat vessel.
Yeah, we're like
on a rock.
We've got electric pulses going through us.
Yeah. Your brain
That's
is
strange.
That is another thing when people go, oh, I'm sad, oh, this, that, you know, life sucks. It's like, yeah. You're some cosmic entity trapped inside like a little fucking electric slab of meat, piloting this fucking vehicle.
Like, an electrified slab of meat.
How did you think this was gonna go? Oh, but how could a society collapse? How did Rome fall? How do you think?
I wonder how far it would be if God wasn't a thing. There's that cool Futurama episode where it like goes back in time, and maybe it's a Rick and Morty episode,
right?
And he puts like he throws like three science books into the portal, and then he throws, and it's sort of like the rate in which like development happened was like extreme, and then he checks one Bible and just fucking goes back to normal. I think it's Futurama.
That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, checks the Bible. Yeah, actually, I tried. Okay, so here's the thing. I tried to watch Futurama. I tried to watch the first episode. But you know how the first episode came out in the 90s? The first few episodes were tough to get through.
Right.
Yeah.
You know they were all geniuses.
Really?
Yeah, they were all like the writers on there. They were all fucking like they all had like multiple like degrees and masters and PhDs.
That's pretty cool.
I think all of them were doctors, dude, in their own right.
Wow.
Assumed.
And then assumed. Yeah. Assumed. Yeah. You know, they're just down on that farm. That chick, she's just waving her hands around the mirror, doing that Reiki healing.
Dude, I think we've got our first t-shirt slogan now. Assumed. I like it.
I like it.
In quotation marks.
Yeah. That makes more sense to me than the music. With a really loud bike, you're like, okay, I get it.
Are they the same?
No,
they're different.
It's like different rungs on like a shitty ladder.
Descending
into hell.
Yeah, it's a downward ladder.
Yeah, it's a downward slope. But you know, I don't know. It's just weird. You know, it's weird. So I think just the more and more this goes on, the more and more I feel like you know, like we're on the Titanic. We're playing it out.
That would be sad.
Can you imagine that guy though, like being the band on the Titanic, and you're like, well.
And they play that song.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that's how I would go out.
Yeah.
Not specifically that, but just in general. Like I had a daydream when I was running. You know when you run or like you do like something that you're not you do something that sort of aggravates you, like you're working or you're doing something you don't like, and you just have all these horrible thoughts.
Right.
Like that's when you go to your darkest, like your deepest and darkest.
That's in the DSM-5.
That's in the DSM-5 for sure. But I think that's probably like pretty true. Like, you know, if you work a job that you don't like or whatever, or just like anything that sort of grates you. You know, you go into the supermarket, you just go to a dark place because you're irritated, and your mind just sort of like tricks you.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's like, hey, we shouldn't be doing this. You're annoyed, so let's like you go to that dark place. Anyway, I'm running, and I imagine this like scenario where like because I ran past these like this sort of like thuggish like, people, and one of them like starts running with me, and he's like, oh yeah, let's go for a run, and I'm like yeah, funny. And I thought like it'd be interesting if he pulled a gun out.
Right.
And I thought, how would I react to that situation? And I would like to think that I would smile. I go, all right, well, this is it. At least I want to go out smiling.
Yeah.
I want to be that band on the Titanic going down when I go out.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fucking, ooh, you know, you don't want to be that guy, you know, like that is your last instance.
You're only as happy as you allow yourself to be.
Yeah.
And that's what you say to him as he pulls out that gun. Why are you smiling?
They're close together.
They're close.
They're pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close enough. Yeah.
I wouldn't compare them. But I think, you know, I feel like we'd all like to think that we'd go out with a little bit of dignity.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to go out screaming like a bitch.
No.
Yeah. Stop.
Well, yeah. And he's like, what? He's just like, he
Can
stops. Yeah.
Can I go?
Oh, yeah. And he's just like,
I would like to go that way.
Yeah, he's like, wait, stop. We got to unpack this. Did you just hang on? Can you do that again?
No. You know I'm about to end you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. You just start. Well, you just start jerking off. Someone's going. What are you going to do? Shoot a guy when he's jerking off? That's foul.
That's foul, friend.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Someone pulls a gun on you, you just start jerking off, and you just start like, what? You're going to shoot someone jerking off? Come on, that's bad etiquette. And he's just like, shit, I guess.
Yeah, I think the whipping the dick out would sort of it would override the whipping the gun out.
Yeah. It's like, what's that old advice? Like if someone tries to fight you, you just get naked.
Yeah. Just get on your knees.
Because no one's gonna fight a naked guy.
No. Yep. I'm with you. The shock value of that sort of just brings you right out of the situation.
Yeah. He's just like, I think I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna get my degree. Yeah. All his thug friends are like, come on, man, you gotta come back to the hood. He's like, nah, man, I'm gonna go get my GED. I'm gonna go be an orthodontist.
I'm gonna go to do a psychology arts degree.
Yeah.
I want to understand what just happened.
Yeah.
I want to figure out what DCM he's on. I want to see what level.
Yeah, he's just so perplexed. He's
I'd
just
like
like,
to assume.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah, you know, like they just can't figure it out. Hey,
that's what psychology is. It's just assumptions there. They're like, you know, well, your mother fucked you, and your dad bit the shit out of you, and your sister was a crack whore, and you fed her crack. But you know what? I think you just, you know, you didn't grow to the height that you thought you'd be, and that's where your issues lie.
Right.
So you just need to sort of embrace yourself, love yourself, and you'll start succeeding.
Yeah. And that's when you're like, well, this is great, but like not at a bus stop. Yeah. Yeah. I would like to think that getting
field work as a psychologist.
Yeah, no, literally. Yeah.
Just like, on the bus to work every morning, just like, tell me about your dad. Tell me about your childhood.
Yeah, he's just sitting there with a DSM-5. He's just flicking through it. He's like, I have no fucking idea what you got. Like this is, I mean, look, everything that we know is in here. That's not here.
This is all the human condition has to offer.
Yeah.
And
I don't get fucked by somebody that has 6 toes on their right foot. Or my cousin Donnie. And he's just like,
we have a book for that actually. It's more instructional.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that, my name is Inigo Montoya. You know, like, you killed my father. Fuck me. And you're like, whoa.
What are we talking about?
I have no idea. And that's the episode that never got released. It's fine. But hey, you know what? We're in the 21st century. We're smoking, but like electrically.
Which must be safe.
100%.
Where are the where's the conspiracy on like the like the same sort of conspiracy with like the vaccinations versus the technology that goes into making, the scientists that went into making vapes?
This shits on everybody that took part in the Manhattan Project. That project to make the atomic bomb.
Oh yeah, no.
They were using like desktop calculators. We're just sitting here with like more computing technology that sent man to the moon, and we're using it just to be like, oh my god, it tastes like grapes. And
oh, the clothes were fucked in this one. Yeah. Wait, will you try it? Yeah, I agree. I concur. Concurring is agreeing.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's like, yeah, you're certainly like some kind of fucking alchemist because you're mixing vape juices.
Yeah. Yeah, and a buddy of mine was a buddy, definitely not a buddy, an old flatmate of mine, sort of alleviated me to that idea. Not sure if alleviated work in that scenario, but I'll use it. He's like, because I was like telling him, oh, like if you mix this one, it's quite nice. I'd like to, I like to get a bit spicy with it. And I thought, yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. Like, why? He's like, well, because you don't fucking know like the reaction it's going to have to it. And I was like, you're right. Yeah. I'm playing with God here.
Yeah. He's like, you can get a more curable kind of cancer just eating hot tar.
Yeah. It'd be cool if we were immune to some sort of like some certain diseases after sort of injecting these chemicals into us like for such a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Like we are.
And we'll go with that.
Let's do that. We're now immune to COVID-20.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming.
COVID-23. There's some like old woman from way back in the day who's dead now, predicted a lot of shit. With some quite
she was hot.
Interesting accuracy. And then she was just like, yeah, she predicted the pandemic, she predicted this, she predicted that.
She was like that fucking octopus.
Yeah, and she said, yeah, in 2022, there's going to be another pandemic caused by the melting ice in the Antarctic or something, and it's going to be bacteria that gets released, and so now it's going to cause another pandemic.
Sounds like the fucking millennium bug, dude.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, everyone's just like, hey,
the numbers aren't. We're not going to be able to handle 3 zeros.
You know what's funny about that too is that was actually real, and then it was a fucking problem. And they were like, hey, shit's going to be really bad.
I think it was just less of a problem than like everyone made out.
Yeah,
there, right?
They fixed it in like 2 months. But I feel like the government was just like, hey, let's just see where this goes.
I would that. I prefer that. I would like to think that the government fuck around. Yeah, it's like, hey, I like to think it's just like a couple of like a round table.
Yeah.
Of Kyles.
Yeah.
But like at the business, at the sort of the higher spectrum level of the power level, power dynamic.
Right.
And then just carling around.
Yeah.
Like, hey, $1 million. Yeah, this is gonna be an issue. Let's tell them about it.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy? I was watching a thing about this guy was talking about people he knew in like the intelligence service. Because he was thinking of getting into it himself. And he had like an auntie that was in the intelligence service.
And so God damn it.
Yeah.
I can't get a job at fucking McDonald's because my parents don't work there.
Yeah, exactly. He worked for the goddamn CIA. They're like, hey, throw me a bone. I'll send some, political enemies to hell. It's what it is. But he said that like, hey, she was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what's the worst part of the job? She's like, oh, you have no idea. Because she's like, hey, like the terrorists.
And he's like, of course I don't.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, no, fucking tell me. No. And she goes, the stuff that you hear about the things that do happen is like the 1% that gets through the cracks. Or just random shit that you just didn't see coming. Like some kid gets radicalized, then decides to take his dad's gun or something.
Right.
And it's sort of like a random sort of thing. Like he's not on the radar. She's like, the shit that we find out about and we manage to stop keeps me up at night. Like she's like, most terrorist attacks never happen. because we find out about it first, and then we stop it. And she goes, the shit that we've stopped is haunting. And he goes, thanks. No longer applying for the CIA. But that does make me wonder, like, hey, what do they know that we don't? Because if they're like, yeah, they fuck around, that would be funny. But also, what do they know?
When I came back from England, COVID was just sort of like becoming apparent.
Yeah.
And my phone would just like randomly like go in and out of signal every now and again. Like and I'd never ever experienced that.
Right.
But you know, I came back on a flight where someone had tested positive, and this was right at the early stages of COVID.
Right.
I think I came back on like just January the 8th, January the 9th of 2020.
Okay.
So it was right when like everything was like going, you know. It was 2 years ago from today-ish.
Okay, sure.
And so yeah, it was like right when like turmoil was starting to sort of settle in. And my phone would just like randomly just sort of like go in and out of signal every now and again. Like I wouldn't be able to send messages. I'd be able to use Wi-Fi or whatever, but I wouldn't be able to use data. And it was just this weird random thing. But I think the government was just checking in on someone who'd like given all their details.
Yeah.
Well, they knew all my shit because, you know, I'd flown in, I checked in by passport. You know, they knew my movements. But they were just saying, you know, what's this guy that was on like a flight, potentially problematic flight was on. I don't really understand what my point was. Well, yeah, just that they have that power.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think I was being watched.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not a conspiracy guy.
Yeah, absolutely, you're being watched. But it's funny too, because it's like, hey, let's see what he's up to on the hub. You know? Let's see what he likes on the old P hub. You know?
Oh God. There was a lot of masturbation when I was in isolation, man. A lot.
What else would you do?
Oh, you can't do anything. You get your meals sort of delivered to you by like your own means. At this point, it was sort of just like, hey, you have to stay in. No one was really checking on you, so they said.
Right.
But like they were just like, hey, you can't fucking leave.
Yeah.
But there's no one being like it wasn't managed isolation.
Okay.
It was isolation. You isolate, and it was sort of like a good faith. Everything was on good faith at that point.
Which is fucking stupid.
Very stupid, very stupid. But somehow we made it through, dude. Yeah. There was no spread at that point in New Zealand, which was like fucking super lucky. But yeah, you just had to get someone that like you knew to give you food, and it was what it was. But anyhow, a lot of COVID talk today.
Yeah.
What else do we have to talk about?
Well,
it's probably actually close to an hour.
Probably is. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you know, we're feeling the pinch out here. I think
we're in a pinch.
We're feeling the pinch. Comedy's back though.
Comedy is back. I am pretty keen on that stupid auntie's corner. What I think I might do is because we can't think of the ideas ourselves. I think I'll probably ask like a few buddies, like, hey, like, what's a problem that you have in your life?
Yeah.
Because we can't ask the listeners because there's no one listening.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
It's really not.
99% of podcasts is just screaming into a lonely void.
Yeah.
You know, and like, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And there's just radio static.
I think I will actually put like a bit of effort into making those 10-second videos.
Yeah.
I've taken the first step.
Yeah.
I put a new playlist on, and it's podcast A to Z.
Right.
And I'm just gonna do 10 seconds, and then the next 10 seconds, and the next 10 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it will get through like maybe 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
And that'll be 100 videos.
Fuck yeah.
I'm not a maths guy.
Yeah.
But 1 hour divided by 10 seconds.
600.
600.
6 maybe. Well, no, you get 6 for every minute, and then there's 60 of them.
So how many 6s are going to an hour?
Let's figure this out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we got an hour. It's just 60. Okay, you know what? So we get 6 for every minute times 60. Wait, 6 times.
Is this gonna make any sense?
We have 360
videos.
Yeah.
So I can get through a quarter of, well, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I can get through a half of one.
Pretty much.
And then I'm there. Then we're there.
We're there.
We want to try and fuck the algorithm, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Riding its squirrely arsehole.
Squirrely asshole. And then wouldn't it be fun if they changed the algorithm again?
Yeah.
And we're just like, fuck.
They're like, less is more.
God, they're just deleting them.
Very easily fix that part.
Yeah. You know, that's it. Hope everyone's doing well out there.
Yeah, we do.
You know,
we don't have any ill will on our listeners.
No.
Or other people.
No. It's not even people that look fucking like they're about to steal a whole supermarket.
We don't have ill will on them. We just rather not be around them.
Yeah.
And when they sort of Venn diagram into our lives via foghorns, via speakers on the outside of their cars, via just little supermarket trips we try and take, and in good faith.
Yeah, in good faith.
And then we'll talk about it.
Look, I got no ill will. I will call in an orbital strike.
Maybe a bit of ill will sometimes.
Just enough to make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta bring back hate, just a little bit.
Let's bring back hate speech.
Not a lot of hate. Just a little hate.
Yeah.
You know.
I got talked to about the hate speech thing.
Did you?
Someone was like, because I remember at one point Jacinda was trying to put a law through. Well, let's not just say it was. I think because Jacinda's trying to make like a name for herself. She wants to get into the UN or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, that's probably what most Kiwis do when they're in office. They're like, all right, being the fucking prime minister of a country like New Zealand isn't going to be a big timestamp. So even like John Key was like, it's not going to work out. I still need to be doing other things. So he did other things while he was in office, and now he's killing it. Now he's just cruising. He was already cruising.
He was already rich, yeah.
But this is like sort of like it's almost the same with Obama. He has to do all this extra shit after he's president. He should be getting fuck off money.
Yeah,
it's a good Bill Burr bit, actually. He's like, the president should be making a fuck ton of money, so they don't have to like make all these promises with anywho. I'm getting off. But in New Zealand, you got people like Jacinda who's just like, I'm going to do like all this like really sort of progressive shit. One of them, she was going to put this hate speech thing through, just for the what I'm talking about, but like just for the listeners.
Yeah,
she's going to put this hate speech law through, and I got talked to about it from a few people, and they're like, "You're going to have to change your ways, boy."
Yeah,
because the shit that is coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, because your jokes are borderline offensive at the best of times.
But I sort of slow ball it with the first few sometimes.
Yeah.
And a few occasions I've started with that fucking COVID drive-through joke.
Right, yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to handle, like the whole hate speech thing. There's no freedom of speech in the UK anymore. People are getting arrested for calling other people like fat and shit now.
People can't watch porn, dude. I went to England on holiday, and I had to go old school, dude. I had to fucking look up images of girls making out to masturbate. It's like the first like 10 times you wank, you just like images. Like
yeah.
We didn't have to. Oh, well, we could have. We had magazines or whatever. Just like a bra strap was enough. Yeah. But when I got past that, and that didn't do it for you anymore. You just like you searched on your clip phones. You went onto the internet, or it was like an app. It was like internet. Yeah. Remember the one?
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah. Yeah. There was like an internet app. Fuck. I think that's what it was. It was like internet.
That's all it was, just internet.
And you just had to like type in the URL.
Yeah, with that little click with the little number pad.
Your mum's like fucking knocking on your floor, which is like her roof. Yeah. And she's like, fucking get off that porn. Yeah. Boy. Yeah, and you're like, I'm not even looking at porn. I'm looking at like schematics for rockets. Yeah. Whatever you think she'll believe. Educational stuff, man. I'm educating myself. I'm studying. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, no, it's not. But hey, it's a porn. It's porn. It's porn. It's a porn. It's a porn. I'm not sure where I was going with that. I liked it. What was the subject? The UK's got no porn. The UK had no porn. We're talking about censorship. We're talking about hate speech.
Yeah. Do you remember when they banned face sitting porn and people sat on each other's faces outside Parliament?
No, I didn't.
That was fucking hilarious.
That sounds like something that probably only a certain amount of people, maybe a certain group of people knew about.
Yeah.
That it applied to. It's just a sudden outrage for like a lack of face sitting on the internet.
Yeah.
And like 95% of the people don't know about it, but the 5% that do, God, they made a racket.
It's just like a time-honored tradition. It's like face sitting. Why would you want to get rid of it?
No, it's cool. It's cool. I don't know why you would. It was just all the suffocations.
Yeah.
It was just after the era of when getting a big ass came into it.
Yeah.
It was like the second, third season of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, yo, I like this.
You're going to be wearing these shoes.
I like this.
Remember those shape-up shoes?" That she's like, "Yeah, if you wear these, you got this ass."
Yeah.
And then I don't think anyone bought them.
I've been wearing those shoes for 13 years.
Yeah.
Still don't have an ass like Kim K. Remember those sketches? Like the platform sketches almost? Yeah, the same kind of thing. And they're like, yeah, it just works you out more because your foot's on this weird angle or some shit. Nobody got fit doing that. Yeah,
you're just standing on your toes the whole time.
Yeah.
Basically just wearing high heels.
Look like Michael Jackson in this bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
All right, that'll do.
That'll do it. Good night, everybody.